Hello guys, today I'll be doing a CD collection video for Trivium, Killswitch Engage, Bullet for My Valentine, As I Lay Dying, and All That Remains. And the reason I'm doing these 5 bands in one video is because they all fall under the same metal subgenre. But before I start, I do want to point out that if you haven't noticed, I haven't uploaded in like 2 weeks or so, and I want to apologize for that because and the reason why I haven't uploaded in a while is because I've just been busy with school, work, and just life in general. And also, I couldn't really think of anything that I wanted to talk about. But of course, if there's something that you'd like me to talk about, let me know in the comment section below. But yeah, that's pretty much why I haven't uploaded in a while. And again, I'm sorry about that. But let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start off with Trivium. So we have this Ember to Inferno promo sampler, which has 2 songs, Pillar of Serpents and If I Could Collapse the Masses, which are 2 of my favorite songs on the album, so that's definitely a plus. And I think If I Could Collapse the Masses is I think that's a pretty underrated Trivium song. Now we have, of course, Ember to Inferno, Ascendancy, Crusade, Shogun, which is my favorite Trivium album, In Waves, Vengeance Falls, Silence in the Snow, which some people don't like the album, but I personally enjoy it. I can understand why some people don't like it due to all the clean singing and the intensity of the album not being as intense compared to other albums in their past or whatever, but I personally enjoy Silence in the Snow. Then we have, well, I don't know how to pronounce this, so I'm just not going to bother, but I have this album. And now we have The Sin and the Sentence, which is easily one of their best albums. I mean, just from songs like Betrayer, Thrown into the Fire, and even The Revanchist, it's just definitely one of their best albums, especially with the production, the lyrics, even the guitar work, especially in the title track, but love Sin and the Sentence. But let's go ahead and move on to Killswitch Engage. I have the first self-titled album, which of course has Jesse Leach on it. And then I have Alive or Just Breathing, The End of Heartache, As Daylight Dies Sampler, As Daylight Dies, the second self-titled album, Disarm the Descent, which is one of my personal favorites from this band. And same with the next album, Incarnate. I don't know a lot of people that say that Incarnate is one of their favorites, but I don't know. I've loved this album since first listen, and I still go back to some songs off this album today, but yeah, love this album. So let's go ahead and move on to Bullet for My Valentine. I have the self-titled EP or album. I'm not sure if it's an album or an EP, but I want to say it's an EP though. It only has 5 songs, but was this released independently? I'm not sure. You could do the research on that, but yeah, I found it cheap and I figured, hey, why not get it? So next we have Hand of Blood EP, The Poison. I have the deluxe edition, which means that you get the green cover. The deluxe edition of Scream and Fire. Now, if you're a fan of metalcore and you're not familiar with Bullet for My Valentine, if you're a fan of the heavier side of things, then definitely check out Scream and Fire. I can guarantee you might enjoy Scream and Fire or End of Days or Waking the Demon or even Eye of the Storm. But yeah, if you haven't heard of this band, definitely start off with this album. or maybe The Poison. So next we have Fever, which I think is an excellent album. I know there are some fans that don't like it for some reason. I'm not sure why, but I personally enjoy the album. Then we have Temper Temper, deluxe edition of Venom. Then the deluxe edition of Gravity. I have the black cover version, and with this version you get the cover of Radioactive, which I think is pure trash, but hey man, you like what you like, right? But anyways, let's go ahead and move on to As I Lay Dying. Beneath the Encasing of Ashes. Definitely not easy to find cheap, but I found it at a decent price, but definitely worth owning if you're into As I Lay Dying. Frail Words Collapse. Shadows Are Security. A Long March. An Ocean Between Us, which is my favorite album from these guys. Then we have Powerless Rise, which is an excellent follow-up to An Ocean Between Us. Decus, or Decas, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Then we have Awakened. Now, if you're curious of my thoughts on the single My Own Grave, I think it's one of the best songs that they've ever written, and I think it's maybe one of my top 10 favorite As I Lay Dying songs. I'm serious. I love that song. I still go back to it sometimes, and it's just one of those songs that just never gets old, and it's just one of those songs that really pumps you up, if you know what I mean. But let's go ahead and move on to All That Remains. Behind Silence and Solitude, I have the original, I believe. I believe there's a remaster that has a different cover, but yeah. So This Darkened Heart, This Calling Sampler, Fall of Ideals, Overcome, For We Are Many, which is one of my personal favorites from this band. Definitely has its fair share of underrated songs like Dead Wrong and From the Outside. A War You Cannot Win, which I initially didn't care much for, but it has grown on me over time. Is it one of the best? Absolutely not, but I still think it's a good album, and I suggest, if you're not a fan of the album, I suggest giving it a few more chances. The Order of Things, which still is one of their worst, but it has a few songs that I like. And same with Madness too. I like songs like Halo and Safe House. And you know, I even like the title track. I didn't like it at first, but it has kind of grown on me though. And now we have their most recent album, Victim of the New Disease, which I think is definitely their best in a while. But yeah. So that's my collection for these bands. So let me know your thoughts on my collection. Let me know how many CDs you have from these artists. Are you familiar with all these artists, or is there any artist that I showed that you're not familiar with? If there is one that you're not familiar with, let me know, and I'll point out some songs to you for you to check out. But anyways, thanks for watching. Please leave a comment and a like. Subscribe. Have a nice day, and take care.